it's Kate, and today we're doing the Unpopular Opinions book tag. This tag was created by TheBookArcher, so I'll put her channel in the description below. What's a popular book or series that you did not like? Well, I gotta go with Matched by Ali Condi, which honestly it kind of has as much negative feedback as it does positive feedback, so I'm not sure. I guess this is considered popular, but I did not like this trilogy. I'm not sure why I read the entire trilogy, even though I didn't like the first book, but who said I was smart? The reason I don't like this trilogy is because to me it's very, very similar to The Giver, and I absolutely love The Giver, so when I read this book I was like, this is a copy. I know it's probably not intentionally a copy, but in my mind, I couldn't read it without thinking about The Giver, and as soon as they brought in like the whole pills idea in the dystopian society, I was like, okay, this is too similar for me, I can't do it. What is a popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate but you love? I'm going with Uprooted by Naomi Novak. I think a lot of people do like this book as well. Like, I'm not the only person who loves it, but I do know it has a lot of negative feedback as well because many people think that Agnieszka, the protagonist, is very plain and boring and she's not very characterized, and I'll admit, yes, she could have some better characterization, she could be more interesting, but it doesn't make the book bad, and I still really enjoyed the book and I really loved it. So you can hate it if you want to, but I really love it. What is a love triangle where the main character ended up with the person that you didn't want them to end up with? Hex Hall trilogy by Rachel Hawkins. Yeah, she ended up with the person I didn't want her to end up with. I don't know if I can spoil. I was a Sophie Cal shipper. I think his name was Cal. And it didn't work out for me. It just didn't. So, whatever. What is a popular book genre that you hardly reach for? Sci-fi. I don't know why I don't. I love fantasy, and sci-fi is kind of along the same lines, but I don't know. I guess it gets too smart for me. It gets like the science and sometimes there's like machines in it and stuff, and I need to try it more because one of my best friends is really into sci-fi and I need to read her recommendations, so I'm gonna try to get into it. Who is a popular or beloved character that you don't like? I might get some hate for this. I just might. Dorian Gray from the Throne of Glass series. Now, hold on. I like him now, but when I first read this series, I really didn't like him back when he was the OG romantic interest for Selena. That's when I didn't like him because he reminded me of Will Herondale. He felt like a Will Herondale copy to me. His personality just conveyed that, and then whenever it said that he had black hair and blue eyes and he was tall, and I was just like, okay, I need a moment. And I know Sarah J. Maas probably did not mean to do that, but I was a really big Will Herondale fangirl at that point, so I was very sensitive to copies, if you know what I mean. But yes, now I do like Dorian, and he's not my favorite character, but I do enjoy reading about him now, so it's definitely a step up. Who is a popular author that you just can't seem to get into? David Levithan, because I don't really know. Now, I've only read Will Grayson, which is co-written by John Green and David Levithan, but I tended to like the chapters written by John Green more than the ones by David Levithan, and it was a good book. I really did enjoy this book, but I think John Green's writing style is just more my taste, if you know what I mean. So I found myself looking forward to his chapters rather than David Levithan's, but I will give David Levithan's other books a try because I know this is not the same kind of thing as a book written entirely by him, so I need to continue to give him a chance before I judge him, but by this, he might not be my cup of tea. What is a popular book trope that you're tired of seeing? I'm gonna talk about two, because there's a lot. When the main character is obsessed with a classic book, this happens so much, and I don't know why, but the main character, normally a girl, is obsessed with some classic book. I can give examples. We got Tessa from The Infernal Devices. She loved A Tale of Two Cities, which I love A Tale of Two Cities too, but you don't have to talk about it 24/7. Also, in The Sky is Everywhere, the main character loved Wuthering Heights, I believe. So it's just these classic female writers that it seems the main characters always are drawn to, and they just love this one book, and it's referenced throughout the entirety of the actual book. I don't know, it just bugs me. Another one is when the main character has literally one friend, because that's not realistic. I know I don't have very many friends, but I don't just have one friend. You're at least friendly with other people, if you know what I mean. And then if this one person's friend and them have a fight, they just don't talk to each other for weeks, and this one person is a loner for the rest of their life, and it's so dramatic. But that's not how it is. Whenever I have an argument with one of my friends, I have my other friends still, even though I'm not gonna like blab about that argument with the other friends. I still have a support system. I'm not completely stranded. What is a popular book or series that you have no interest in reading? The Maze Runner by James Dashner. This is pretty popular ever since the movie came out, even more so. And I have probably 2 or more friends who read this book and really liked it. So honestly, I'll probably end up reading it for their sake and to watch the movie because the movie looks pretty good. But this is a dystopian, and I lost interest in dystopians a little while ago, so I don't know how to feel about this one. Which book to movie or book to TV adaptation do you prefer to its book? Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrews. I did enjoy the book, but it wasn't amazing. It was told in a strange format, and I felt that not enough emotion was conveyed in that format. I really loved the humor of the book though. It was freaking funny, and I just cracked up 24/7. I just felt like the movie was a little more realistic, because if that happens to someone, you're not going to act as if nothing has happened or act as if you're not affected by it. And I think that's something that was kind of wrong in the book. I'm gonna get some hate for this because I know a lot of people love this book and the abnormality of the reaction to the situation, but I don't know, I just felt like the movie was more realistic with how the grief was dealt with, and I appreciate that. So that's all for today. Have a nice day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!